Welcome to the Childish Grown-Up Show, where we treat each episode like your movie theater experience. We catch up with one another, play some games, talk previews, and before you know it, it's time for the feature presentation. So sit tight and enjoy this ride of nostalgia on the Childish Grown-Up Show.
We are back for another episode of the Childish Grown-Up Show. I am one of the hosts, Maurice Hunt III. You may know me as Mo. I'm here with my two wonderful co-hosts, Mia G, Ash Bash. Ladies, how y'all feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
I'm sleepy, but I'm good.
Let me ask, how sleepy do you have to be to like acknowledge it these days?
Usually I'm like a coffee drinker, but I've been trying to slow my roll on drinking coffee because I take pre-workout in the morning when I go to the gym.
Okay.
So I was giving myself heart palpitations. I need to chill. But now, like midday, I just,
Any alternatives?
Hitting me. I could try green tea, but green tea is lame. No, it's not.
I know what you mean, though. It's like,
same.
If you don't get you a real, get you a real drink. You know what I mean? I like tea, but it is like that though. But yeah, like I said, so we're back again. This is Friday. Normally, like I said, your second favorite day of the week when it comes to the podcast. We try to do this every month. For those that are new listeners, we do this every month. After 3 films are picked, we like to get into a TGIF where we can, pay homage to the television side of nostalgia. And so that's what this is served as. And it makes sense because there's 3 of us. So it's the perfect combination. So before we get into today's theme and episode, first thing I want to bring up is, by the time y'all hearing this pod, it's been a few days, but we recently lost a legend from the Cosby Show, from Malcolm and Eddie, and from many more things that he has done. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Ash, I'm gonna throw the ball in your court. What is there anything you want to speak to as far as Malcolm's work or anything that you connected with when it came to him and what he means to us childish grown-ups?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tragedy. I had people sending me texts, probably like 3-4 people send it to me. I didn't even see it myself, so it was through like text. So very sad. I like him a lot. Like, of course, he's known for the Cosbys, but I even saw him on like later projects as he got older and a little more mature too. I was like, okay, Malcolm. Like he did a show with Tracy Ellis Ross. I think it was called the Reed People, something like that. They had like a show.
I'll find his stuff while you're going at it.
Yeah, they had that. I thought that was pretty good. He was a doctor in The Resident. That's a show also. Like, I've seen him in a few things, and I like him. I mean, he was a great, phenomenal actor, and obviously a family man. So definitely gone too soon.
Mia G.
Oh man, it's such a tragedy. He's such a legend in the television space. Black TV, the Cosby Show being, regardless of whatever, one of the most iconic and trailblazing TV shows to ever air. And then also, like Ash said, in later projects, he was in one of my favorite shows, which was American Horror Story. He was in the Freak Show season with Angela Bassett, which he did great work there too. And, he just seemed like such a, an unproblematic, great guy, great talent. And it's just a real tragedy, to see him go in this way, and just praying for his family and his loved ones and anyone in his circle. And, it's a tough one.
Yeah. just to acknowledge some of the shows. Well, there's a ton of them, but just acknowledge some TV spots. He's been in films as well, but of course, like y'all said, the Cosbys, The Resident, Malcolm and Eddie, Suits. He had an appearance. A Different World. The show Ash was talking about. Read Between the Lines. Here and Now. He was on Fresh Prince. That was actually one of my favorite episodes where he popped up on there. So that was cool. He did a ton of other things. Like he was everywhere. But for me, it's just every time I seen him, I've always liked how he represented us. You know what I mean? Like there was a certain way that he carried it. You know, he always had a certain integrity that was so good to me. Like I loved what I seen. And the craziest part of this all, and stuff like this always happens to me, and I don't know what this means still. Randomly watching TV and getting ready to go to bed, and I'm trying to find, all right, what are you gonna find to watch? I just like, all right, I'm gonna watch Malcolm and Eddie. I really hardly ever pick the show. This is not like a go-to. I enjoyed it so much as a kid, but it's not a go-to show for me. But for whatever reason, I'm gonna watch Malcolm and Eddie. The TV, of course, would start. You fall asleep, TV watching you. It's still going on in the morning. I'm getting ready for work. I'm still watching it. I'm like I need to get out the house, but I'm still like locked in. I'm like, dang, this is so good. I like his character and how smooth he was and like just how he was carrying it. And then just to get the news the morning of, it was like, whoa, that is like off. And that's why it's just such sensitive times, because you never intend, you're booking your flight, you're packing your bags, you're looking forward to, you got your itinerary, we're going to do this today, we're going to do that today. You never imagine this is it. This is where it's going to stop. And that's what I can't wrap my mind around. You know, it's that idea of vacationing and like, okay, finally I'm going to take a break. I'm going to do this for myself, my family. And that would be your resting place. That's the type of stuff that keeps me up at night. It's just that thought. It's like how precious it is and how it's literally just the regularness of things. And that's just unfortunate, and things like that happen, and it's just mind blowing. I mean, he was so young, same age as our father, so it's like, wow, you know. So rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like Mia said, prayers to the Warner family, and thank you for what you meant to the culture and what you meant to this world. I'm sure there'll be more things that'll be circulating that will be inspiring, and something to just bless us with what you've done and your contribution. So, yeah, man. The next thing I want to get on a lighter note, and something I want to start implementing on these TGIFs. So we do these rotations of films, but we never really kind of stop and kind of reflect on them. And I know eventually we're going to be at 50 episodes, and we're going to reflect kind of in some of our rotations, some of the movie reviews that we've really enjoyed, some of the movies that like we thought we would enjoy. It's like, I didn't enjoy it as much when I had to actually podcast. We'll have that conversation, but until we get there, I want to kind of use these TGIFs to kind of recap a little bit on what we've done. So our last rotation of movies was Summertime Vibes. And we reviewed She's All That, 13, and ATL. Ash Bash. In this summer vibes rotation of films that were chosen, how do you feel about this selection? I know we haven't got to speak about what's our favorite rotation. We did a sports one, a dealer's choice, a mother's one, a father's one. We did Candygram, where we did romance movies, Christmas movies. So we've done quite a few rotations of films, themes. So, but speaking to this specifically, how did you feel about the Summertime Vibes? What was that? What was that leaving you feeling like?
Left me straight down the middle.
Okay.
It left me just right there in the middle. But it's good. It was interesting. The 13 pick definitely put a spin on the summer vibes. But
put a spin on
it actually was a really good episode. Mm-hmm. Like the way that we laid it out and talked about the things that happen in the movie. Like it flowed, and this was a first time watch for me and Mo, obviously. So I don't know. It's still, I had a good time, and then you brought it back with ATL, and of course we had tons of quotables in that movie. Easy watch, smiles ear to ear, funny. Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
All right, all right.
Mhm.
Mia G, how have you felt in our summertime vibe, film rotation moments and things that come to mind just thinking about the films we just reviewed and the experience on air and all that good stuff?
It was interesting for sure. Like it was very like it was summer, but it was also like teen movie vibes at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. My pick was so out of like that's one of the ones where I'm like, I probably could have saved that for a different round. I had another one that I probably could have picked that I was going to, and I just was like, I put it to the side, and I'm like, missed opportunity. But like Ash said, it was a good conversation. I really, really enjoy like the joy of She's All That in
Yeah,
ATL. Like
yeah.
those were like fun.
Mm-hmm.
While 13 was like a real like interesting conversation, but She's All That in ATL brought like the fun
Mm-hmm.
vibe, colorful, bright vibes. And I was like, that was cool. I enjoyed it. We'll have to double back to the summer vibes,
Yeah.
next year, and we could.
Yeah.
I'll approach it a little different.
Well, and that's the beauty of this whole thing is because this is new for all of us. Like we're all like figuring this out, and like by the time we do these rotations again, it's like okay, now it's like oh, I got it. You know what I mean? Now, like we already got to start low key thinking, okay, what am I gonna do for Christmas? Because we hit the heavy hitters. You know what I mean? Like we hit the heavy hitters. So, for me, I really enjoy. I enjoyed all three. She's All That. I enjoyed. I know it's a little bit kind of went to the classic style of scene for scene. Would have liked to probably go a different approach with it, but I that's just one of those films that it's not a deep film, and it's pretty ham sandwich, as far as reviewing. Watching it is excellent. It's a full deli sandwich, but reviewing it, it's kind of a basic, a nice turkey grilled cheese type thing. It's like, okay, there's not a ton to add to, but it was a fun review. And like you said, very colorful, very funny. 13 actually is one of the craziest things because it's like the reverse effect. It was a terrible watch experience, but a super enjoyable pod experience. And I really enjoyed that review. It was so authentic and so different, and that was me, his first time kind of leading the conversation, so that was dope. And then ATL, like, come on, like I'm still saying, hell wrong with you, Tiger Hood, Black Nicholas. I keep saying they like, what do you talk? What you stop saying? I'm saying it around the house. Still, hell wrong with you. Oh man, shout out to Jason Weaver. So man, just fun doing that rotation. It's been enjoyable like most of our rotations. So looking forward to our next rotation, and we will reveal that at the end of this episode. So y'all please stick around. Some of y'all be listening up to a point, and then last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, y'all be getting out of there and y'all miss the next review, and y'all be like, oh, I haven't seen the movie before. We're giving you opportunity. We're giving you 7 days to go check out the movie. Go find a way to do it. Y'all got Fire Stick, Roku, internet, figure out a way so y'all could tap in with us and enjoy the review in the most proper way. So, stay tuned to the very end of this episode. All right. I thought there was something. Was there something else that I had? Summertime vibe. Oh, one more thing, and we get into it. I thought about this, and I can start off if y'all need a second to think. Kind of concluded school is about to start here soon. And so kind of concluding that summer with the films and everything, I wanted to see if y'all can bring the listeners into our childish grown up world and bring back a fond memory that comes to mind of summertime as a kid. And if y'all need time to think, I already have something. So, because I thought about this. So there was this time in summer, I'm gonna try to be brief. There was this time in summer Ash knows. We did this interesting rotation where we got to stay in Indiana for like 2 weeks, and then our cousins got to stay with us in Kentucky for like 2 weeks. So when we got to do the Indiana thing, me and my brother stayed with our male cousins, and then Ash stayed with our female cousins. And so when that happened, man, they stayed in apartments. I wouldn't say it was the hood. I wouldn't say it was like the upper echelon either. It was just, I mean, you don't really know as a teenager. Anyway, we like teenagers, but we used to go to the pool every day. And the pool, like, are we talking about raising skin? We was at the pool so much, and our whole objective every single day, we're going to eat 2 or 3 boxes of cereal because Auntie had the food stamps, and my cousins really didn't care. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right, let's keep it. That's two bowls of cereal, 3 bowls. Let's go. And once it was like the pool was opening, we finally get ready, and we would go out there trying to be fresh, and we just would holler at girls. Like, that's our whole objective every single day of the summer. Didn't get nobody really. Like, got maybe one, but it's like, bro, I'm never gonna see you again. Shout out to the friends you never seen again. Like, but that was like our objective, and it was so fun. The innocence of that's my pursuit of the summer. Nothing's gonna happen. We're not about to do anything like in that type of way, but that's the pursuit. I'm gonna get this phone number. Yes, I'm gonna have to call her house. Yes, I'm gonna have to go through the parents, but I'm gonna get that number. I'm gonna get those digits, and I would get through there and have a conversation. So that was just awesome. Like how much we used to just love going to the pool just so we could see who would be there. And you start seeing familiar faces and everything. And it was dope. And I couldn't swim. And that's when I learned how to swim. I know that's kind of ironic in this conversation, but that's actually where I learned how to swim. My younger cousins taught me how to swim. We went to the pool so much. That's when they taught me how to swim. And so, yeah, that's a fond memory. That was one of my favorite summers, is that rotation, 2 weeks in Indy, 2 weeks in Kentucky. So, yeah.
That's crazy because that reminds me of being out there and our cousin Lil Donald. I couldn't swim either, right? Man. And so he pushed me in the pool. And so I don't know how I got out. Y'all probably was helping me get out. When I tell you, I was chasing that dude around the pool. I could not wait to get my hands on him. Like, I was gonna fight him, like full press. Like, yeah, I couldn't get to him. I was trying to put in work. I was so mad. But
I remember that too. He always
I was the most. Bro, when I got out, he knew to take flight.
Yeah, you was red.
I was hot. I don't care, you boy. I'm swinging, boy. I don't care. But I don't have a particular summer. I just remember being outside all day, every day. The generation is different now. And, you got the video games, electronics. We had both, but we wanted to be outside more than on the game back then. So just being outside, playing basketball every summer. And another cousin group of ours, we would just spend a night at each other's house every weekend. So one weekend they at our house, the next weekend we spend a night at their house. This was just ongoing until our parents was like, all right, gotta chill. We're like, can we spend the night? Can y'all spend the night? Back and forth.
Not this time.
Yeah, not this time. Like that. But then next weekend we back at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course you gotta have your cousin ask. We ain't gonna ask. Like, no. Hey Josh, can you go ask our mom if y'all can stay tonight? And then vice versa.
For sure.
It's harder for them to tell them no than us.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, good time. You took me back for a minute. Took the road back.
Yeah, gotta go all the way back. Oh man, Mia G, what's up?
Oh man, I miss summer as a kid. I remember, like, my summers. The best summers I remember are the ones where I would spend almost whole summers at my friend Lizzie's house or my cousin Jasmine's house. I spending so much time over my friend Lizzie's house to the point where I would just go home and get clothes and just go back over her house because her mom had a membership to the swim club, the neighborhood swim club, and she lived so if you're familiar with Cincinnati, there's North Avondale, which is a little nicer, and then you have South Avondale, which is the hood. I lived in South Avondale. She lived in North Avondale. And I would go over there and, we would walk to Dairy Queen, like, or United Dairy Farmers, which is another like local little store and place where you can get ice cream. We would like put all of our little money together. And like back then you could get a whole bunch of snacks with like $5, like put our stuff together. Um, go into the pool, just coming home and being exhausted from being at the pool, take a shower, lay in her bed and just sleep all day and then wake up and play our little girl games, play with our dolls. You know, being outside, like Ash said, like when kids actually used to play, like we play with chalk on the sidewalk or we rode
Oh, the chalk.
you
Yeah.
know, around the neighborhood. We would ride our bikes and um walk places, meet up with
Oh,
friends,
the walks. Oh, walking back in the day.
knocking on people's doors, asking if they could come outside. you know,
Oh yeah.
it was different, but I have the fondest memories of summers as a kid.
Goodness, you took me back to walking. Like that was exciting. Like we didn't care how much we sweated. We were excited. I get to walk to the store. Like anyway,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go crazy on it because like you just opened up a whole nother portal. Like the walk to Dollar General, Ash, back at cousin
Yeah.
house. Everything. How much you got? I got $1.15. Cool. I can get 10-cent candy. What you got? All right, here, bro. I'll give you a couple quarters. Like we gonna make it happen.
Get up to the
uh,
register, put your quarters
you know
on.
what I'm saying? Like, look. I don't care if they sticky. I don't care if they got that black stuff on it. We're
Yeah.
kidding. Oh man, times were so simpler sometimes, you know. I know, man. All right, all right, all right. I prolonged the summer vibe long enough. I just wanted to spend a little time there. Just put some joy in our and the Stoop Kids' spirit right now after everything that's going on. So, all right, y'all, here we go. We are, and the title may vary. So, however I'm putting this together, y'all see when it comes out. Rather, it's going to be 5 scenes that made you cry or 5 scenes that had you in your feelings, something like that. It's probably more in the feelings because to cry you got to work really hard, especially on television, and most of that probably didn't exist till after 2010. Yeah, because they turned up the heat on the emotion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, this is what we chose. We laid it out last week on our ATL episode, and shout out to Jay Boogie. Thanks again for being a guest of ours. So we laid it out last week. So without further ado, anybody got any honorable mentions?
I have one only because it was too recent. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave it off of my main list. But it's such a good one that I had to put it in my honorable mention. And for those who know, they know. So my honorable mention would have to be Orange is the New Black, season 4, episode 12. And it's called Animals. And it's when this character named Pusey died.
Oh.
And when I say that scene, like what I cry for like, because this is a Netflix show. So this came out about, I think it was 2016. That scene happened at the end of that episode. I cried for like 4 episodes straight after that. Like nonstop tears, 4 episodes straight, just off of that scene and how it made me feel. I couldn't stop crying. I kept watching, I just kept crying.
I know what you're talking about. I was looking at going through YouTube, kind of looking at some stuff, and I seen it was like the brutality thing.
Yeah, it was like so jail riot,
Yeah.
and the young cop put his knee in her back and suffocated her.
Oh,
And it
and that was
was,
before George Floyd.
and she was just the sweetest character. She was the
She was.
sweetest character on the show. And to see her be the one to go out was just super heartbreaking. And it literally took me out for the whole watching the rest of the season. I just cried the whole time.
Did you finish the series after that, or was it enough to make you say I can't even?
So I didn't finish the series. I watched like one more season, But it started to get away from me after a while, and I didn't end up finishing the whole thing.
I remember that. I used to watch Orange is the New Black too. Um, so I remember her dying, and it was sad. So I do remember that. Did you watch Wentworth at all?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Wentworth was top tier.
Wentworth went hard.
That was top tier.
Wentworth, what is that?
Grade A
Yeah.
female prison television.
Oh, okay.
That's top tier.
Australian. Look it up, Mo. Wentworth. You got it's so good.
Okay. So Ash, you said you don't have any honorable mentions?
Nah, it was a struggle getting my 5. I'm not gonna lie, because I think like when you had mentioned what we were going to do, I was like, oh, I got this in the bag. I'm emotional anyway. Like, I'm a Cancer. You know how we can be. But then I'm like, whoa, I'm kind of struggling. And I guess it's more so movies that take me there than TV shows, especially ones that are kind of like from the back in the day. So yeah, it's hard for me. So I definitely just got a strong 5.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. Mine aren't all pre-2010, but I tried to stay as close as I possibly could.
Ditto.
Yeah, it shows like there's only a few shows that really they captured it for the time, but the thing about it is we live in such a different time where we live kind of in a mental health society, so things resonate differently with shows that came out relatively recently than things back then. So it kind of fit the societal standards then. Why it's like you get the gist of the feeling, but it don't resonate the same as some of the later shows post 2010. So, but with that being said, I do have a few honorable mentions. And I think I probably have like a show that well, at least it started in 2010. I didn't realize that until now. I'm like, I guess since we're doing that, we just gonna roll it out. So I got 3 honorable mentions.
3. Okay.
It's time for Rachel to eroticize your ass. So 1, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Y'all knew it was coming. Season 4, episode 24. Papa's got a brand new excuse. Y'all know the scene that, why don't he want me, man? That whole thing spawned Bel-Air. But for me, like I've watched that scene so many times, I don't even put so much focus on why don't he want me, man? I put more focus on how Will was like trying to get past it before. He's like, yeah, ain't that right, Uncle Phil? Yeah, I raised myself. I learned how to shave. I did that right too. That worked out, didn't Uncle Phil? He was like, yeah. And then I learned how to, bro. He's like, and he said, I don't need a man to come through to show me how to raise my kids. To hell with him. Like he's like mentally trying to push himself because it's like, kids do this, but I'm looking at this as a young man and this is what we do. And so seeing him like get to that part, like I know we put a lot of focus on why don't he want me, but it's that whole thing of like how we just get up and get over stuff. And it's just like that whole thing. I did pretty good, didn't I, Uncle Phil? Uncle Phil can't even get the answer out because he's so like locked in to trying to get past this whole thing of not wanting to be embarrassed, not wanting to look silly for having belief in his father. So excellent scene. Obviously, it spawned the Bel-Air series off of that one scene. So there's that. Honorable mention number 2, Degrassi. I could have did all 5 scenes of Degrassi, to be honest. They got me in my feelings a lot. So, but I say, all right, let me diversify portfolio. So honorable mention number 2, Degrassi, season 4, episode 7 and 8. There is part 1 and 2. Time stands still. Jimmy gets shot. That whole thing that kept being these, even Rick like had me emotional. When you like back then you look at him as the villain, but when you get older and go back and watch it, you feel for Rick because and it's crazy to say that because of what he did to Terry. He was like, oh, I hate him forever. He's like, he pushed her, she hit her head on a rock. She pretty much wasn't really a character after that once she recovered, and you hate Rick so much for him physically abusing him, but he went away. He tried to work on himself, even though he tried to get with Emma. Emma wasn't feeling it, but he was genuinely just trying to figure out, and he got bullied and picked on, and he just took it quietly. And that's what kind of makes you shift your emotion towards him. Like, dang, does he deserve this much? And so he does his thing, and even Jimmy and him having to work together on. They're doing some like athlon type of trivia athlon type of thing at the school, and everything is going well until Spinner and Jay playing this prank, and they pretty much they dress him up like Chicken George. The feathers fall right out the ceiling, and it's all on him, and he's embarrassed. And he was just starting to get better, and he left the school, everybody laughing, and he comes back with the gun. And I mean, Degrassi did an amazing job on like showing like how school shootings, not all, but how school shootings kind of, and it's ahead of its time, really. I feel like, because like you see how somebody get there, and then we even get more after that. But like, it ain't the Jimmy getting shot like is crazy because of how Spinner set him up. But what got me more than anything, and this is recent, that had me, this really could have been on my list. Maybe it should have. It's the scene, and I've said this before on the other episode. It's Miss Kwan. No, not Miss Kwan. It's the counselor. I think she's also Asian American, but she comes in and she's talking to the class, telling them what's going on. And there's this moment where Hazel, Jimmy's girlfriend, she's looking around because everybody's on lockdown in classrooms. And Hazel looks around and she looks at Jimmy's desk. And then the teacher walks in and she's like, no. And I was like, I'm getting emotional now thinking about it, because it's like you're a high school girlfriend or your high school boyfriend, how real and how sucked in you are with each other at that time, because we're so young, we're so thinking everything is real like that. And it's just her seeing that, like, I didn't even see him get shot. Just the fact that he's not here, I'm thinking of the worst. And that got me emotional as a grown man. So, and then my last one, I'll be even briefer on this. Walking Dead. I don't have the episode, but it's when Herschel's death from the governor. I really like Herschel. He was he came in season 2, and he was Maggie's father, and like he was like a OG grandpa. Like he was riding for his, but man, he had lost. I remember he got bit and they cut his leg off, and it was like, dang, they cut his leg off. He was like, go ahead, cut it off. I'm like, dang, this man is for real. And I was like, okay, he gonna be around for a minute. And then somehow, y'all had to watch it, but the governor ends up getting a hold of him, and they're trying to make a peace treaty, Rick and the governor, but the governor ain't going for it. And he got Herschel on his knees, and he's looking around, and he don't believe Rick and what he's saying, and he grabs a machete and just decapitates him. And they lost it, and that had me so emotional back then, bro. I was like, dang, like why they do this to Herschel though? So I'm sorry, I don't want to prolong. Anything I want to say about the Degrassi scene, or anything I want to say about the Herschel Walking Dead joint?
I almost had season 7, episode 1, in my honorable mentions, because that's one of the ones where I was like, oh, it's kind of recent, so I'm gonna leave it off. But when Glenn dies,
oh, the Negan joint
of Negan,
oh man,
and Lucille,
oh man,
that took me out.
Oh yes, we're gonna have a conversation in the chat.
Walking Dead is my jam. But again, another one of those shows I didn't finish the whole series.
You don't have to, but
it got away from me there but that was, for a good while, that was my thing. And that scene, some of them deaths really took me out. Glenn, Herschel, it was a few of them.
Yeah, I don't know if his name was Tariq, the black dude that was on The Wire with the beard, where they had a whole episode dedicated to him. Yeah, like, I mean, even Everybody Hates Chris, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was a tough one.
That was one of the worst ones. Tara. Yeah. Ash,
the coffin scene.
Yeah. All that. Yeah, it was tough. We had some moments. Anything y'all want to say about the Degrassi thing? I mean, this is one of the most infamous Degrassi scenes of,
Yeah, you got 2 of my scenes already. I mean,
oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I go back to what you like.
So yeah, 2 of those are in my. So yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you elaborate then. I ain't gonna step on nothing.
Okay.
Oh, you should cut me off. Like, I would have just.
No, I mean, I still gotta say, how it made me feel or
Okay,
whatever.
fair
No,
enough.
no biggie.
All right,
Same. You got one of mine. I'm gonna just,
all right, fair enough. Well then, Ash, go ahead then. Since I kind of got in there, since I know you got one of these, so where you want to go with it?
So I'm gonna come back to those.
Okay.
So this is a little more recent, but this is from Grey's Anatomy. This is season 8, episode 11. There's quite a few. Grey's Anatomy has made me cry plenty of times. I mean, it's a hospital show. Obviously, you get invested in the characters, and people start dying or getting hurt. Oh my God, that just made me think of an honorable mention I could have put in there
You
with
want to say that,
Meredith.
there, bro? You want to say that real quick?
Okay,
no,
Or?
yeah.
my
It's
first
not
one
you.
is also from Grey's Anatomy, but it's a different episode.
Okay, so it's not Meredith. Oh,
No,
well, that's okay. Okay. Well, honorable mention then is Meredith. She's like the main girl in Grey's Anatomy. Meredith Grey, and this is when she had got assaulted by the guy. He had like a medical issue going on, so he started like attacking her. So he's not knowing that he's like attacking her, and he was like throwing her around the hospital room, and like this was later. This was like a later season. So, and then she was just laying in the floor, and all the doctors like, no, Penny. You remember Penny, Mia?
which one?
Penny. Penny was the chick that was dating. I can't remember.
Was she blonde?
Yes,
Yeah.
but so Penny came in and found Meredith on the floor. This was after Derek died, her husband, and Penny was one of the doctors on call, and she was trying to tell like the main doctor that Derek should have a CT, and then he just didn't have time to do it. But anyway, so Penny's the one to find her, and she's very adamant about getting some help for her right away after clearly her husband died at another hospital. But anyway, just to sum it up, like it was just when everybody was coming in there to see that it was Meredith on the table, like everybody wanted to get in there. Like her half sister, like her sister-in-law, Amelia, like she just crumbled, you know what I mean? Like it was just, when it's one of your own, you like trying to get hands on, and just I don't know, it just made me get watery. So yeah, I wanted to put that out
That's
there.
real, man.
Because it's like you're not expecting to walk in there and think that it's another doctor that just got attacked in a room right beside you. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
But yeah, you didn't have an honorable mention, did you, Mia? You weren't gonna say another one.
No, I didn't have another.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Grey's Anatomy, the one that's in my 5. This is season 8, episode 11. This is with Teddy. So Teddy was another doctor. It was a powerful scene. Her husband died unexpectedly. And Dr. Yang was one of the doctors that were assisting on trying to save him. And Teddy didn't know that he had died, right? I don't know where she was, but she had came back. And Dr. Yang had to be the one to tell her that her husband died. And Teddy was just, obviously in shambles, like, what? I can't believe this happened. And she was I want to say she was in a shock factor because she kept making Dr. Yang go over step by step what everything she did in the room to try to save him. Like, oh, pushed around the epi, did all this. Like, literally, she made her do this for a couple of days. And Yang kept the same steps every time she asked her, like, what'd you do next? What'd you do next? She kept telling her the same story over and over until it hit Teddy, right? And so then this last time, she was like, tell me again. So Dr. Yang starts to tell her, and now Teddy's taking over saying the steps. She got her eyes closed. She's doing like the motions of what if she was in the OR. Mm-hmm. And it was such a powerful scene because now she's doing all this, push around the epi, and then she's like, time of death, 8:15, whatever. And then she just starts crying, and Yang is like, I'm sorry. And then she was like, no, you don't have nothing to be sorry for. You were me in there, like pretty much, because she was training Yang. And so she's like, you did everything right. And then she was like, he just died. But it was so powerful. Y'all got to check that scene out. Like, just that realization that you know what I mean? It's so powerful. Wow.
Man, I'm
I watched
feeling the
it,
feels.
dude. I watched it again. I watched all these scenes like before doing this episode to see if they still took me to that place, and this still took me there.
Oh yeah, it's gonna last. With something like this, it's gotta last. Like,
Still got me.
wow, that's amazing. All right, Mig G, you want to get into one of your five?
Yes, so my first is also from Grey's Anatomy, and just like with I could have got all of my scenes from Grey's Anatomy because Grey's Anatomy, aka hospital death, every like. So mine is actually season 5, episode 24, Now or Never, and I have the real like the death of the George O'Malley, aka 007. So he had left the hospital, and um sometime later they have a John Doe come into the hospital. He like his face is unrecognizable because he's so badly, I think he got hit by a bus,
Mm-hmm.
and he's so badly, mangled that they can't recognize his face. They have him all wrapped up. And Meredith goes in there, they're trying to figure out who he is, and he takes her hand, and she called him 007, and he writes 007 on her hand, and like the look on her face, like when she realizes that it's George, because they all started together, their residency program, and they were all super close. And Meredith and George were particularly close. And he was the sweetest character as well. Like, what's the one the doctor who ended up being the chief? She had the baby, and he used to always take care of her baby and call himself Uncle George. And he was just like, he was one of my favorite characters. I was so devastated when he left the first time, but then for his character to die that way was heart wrenching. And just the realization in Meredith's face when she realized that it was him who had come into the hospital, and then her telling everybody, like, it's George. Like,
Yeah.
that one really got me. That one really, really got me. I had another one that I never wrote down the episode number or the episode title, but if I had to go another Grey's Anatomy honorable mention, which I'm sorry, we got past that point, but it just occurred to me when Denny passed away. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
the
Busy.
like they killed everybody off, and it was sad every single time.
Yeah.
I could have
It
got some
was.
Grey's Anatomy. I had to put a limit on myself because I was like, I'm not gonna do this with Grey's Anatomy.
Man, no, I did start Grey's Anatomy a while back. I probably watched like 3 episodes, so I did see George, and I got at least a feel for his character. So when I was like just going through the YouTube and viewing stuff, when obviously it's a spoiler for me, but I was like, I'm not about to watch it like at this all the way down. But it was a spoiler, and I was even like shocked. I was like, whoa! And again, I only seen like 3 episodes, but I seen his character then, and I'm like, okay, not this guy. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So that's just my
Yeah.
little 2 cents on like, wow, that is mind blowing, and what a twist. All right, well, I'm gonna go a little light here. Well, it ain't light, but I'm gonna start off here. Like I got into 90210 Beverly Hills 90210. I got into it really late, so but it did predate when I got into it in the 90s. So the episode of Beverly Hills 90210 is season 6, episode 10, One Wedding and a Funeral. Dylan McKay, he is trying to get revenge on this guy who was behind murdering his father in a car explosion. This was something that was this was like the payoff from like an early season, which probably like season 3 or something. And now season 6 has come, and Dylan is he finds out who was behind it, and the dad's name is Tony, right? I believe it's Tony or whatever his name was, but he was trying to go after the dad, so he tried to use the daughter to go after the dad. Now he's college age, and so Dylan McKay always had a whole different journey. He's like the James Dean, James Dean or whatever. And so, but he ends up falling in love with the guy that murdered his father's daughter. Now, he's with her. They end up getting married. Her name's Tony, and he loves her, and she loves him. And he was even trying to, be cool with the father to some degree because he loved the daughter so much. And he was like, I don't even need to get revenge no more. This is probably the best revenge, is that I'm married to her, and you got to, let it go. But there's this scene that happens where the father's been tracking him because he still wants to whack Dylan.
Oh.
And they even had a dinner where they had the guns under the table. This is like way out of 90210's realm, but they were taking extended liberties for the type of show it was. Dylan's being tracked, and Dylan was getting ready to leave to go get some, I think, cat food or something for the cat, and it's raining outside, but she decides, I'm going to go. I'll go ahead. I'll go. But she has his hoodie on, and pretty much she drives off to go get the stuff. They think it's Dylan, and the father ends up whacking or killing his daughter, thinking it was Dylan. And then Dylan, he couldn't pick up and find her, so he pulls up and it's raining outside. And like, this is so out of Dylan's character. He's like cool as a fan all the time. He pulls up and he realizes that's her, and he takes her out of the car. He's like, no, like, I mean, obviously this is very dramatic, but at the time, Dylan had been through so much. It's like, this dude just got off, like he just recovered from drugs, lost all his friends, lost his father. His mother was like a hippie that lived in Hawaii. He was always a loner. And like, this moment's like, Dylan finally gonna get happiness, yes. And then see that, it's like, no. And then Brandon pulls up, his best friend, and he was like, what am I supposed to, Brandon, what do I do? Like, he just, it was so emotional. I did not see this coming. And this is a late cut, because at this point 90210 kind of started shifting a little bit where it wasn't as good, but this was a moment like, whoa. And it had me really, really in my feelings. So 90210 Beverly Hills season 6 episode 10, One Wedding and a Funeral.
That's crazy. He shot the daughter.
He ended up killing his own. He set up a hit that would end up being his own daughter. And then, I mean, it plays out in the funeral where he, that father never recovered, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say, I want to see how the father like reacted later to knowing that he killed his own daughter trying to kill her husband.
Bro.
That's kind of like Sons of Anarchy. That was a show I kind of tapped into a little bit.
I watched a little bit.
Shout out to Rick. He's been channeling us to watch that.
Yeah, Gary from Remember the Titans. He was in the crew, and they were like, think he was moving funny or something, so they would put a hit out to kill him, like one of his closer friends, and they killed his wife instead. Ooh. She had the kids in the car and everything. It's like, no, he had the kids. He was like, the kids can ride with me, and so she ended up being solo. But yeah, that's crazy.
There was a snowfall scene like that too. Like, it was like, yeah. But anyway, I'll wait till you get there when you watch Snowfall.
Coming soon.
Yeah, I know. Ash, what you got? What you doing? These are not in any particular order, but what's your number 4 on scenes that had you in your feelings?
It's a Boy Meets World. Season 6, episode 14. Sean's dad dying, and I don't necessarily remember if I saw all of the seasons of Boy Meets World. Like, this is another one. Like, I don't know that I finished it too, but I watched it again recently, and it was definitely a tearjerker. Like, because he was in there with his other brother, and they were pretty much getting their frustration. Like, the father's in the hospital bed. He's not awake or anything right now, and so Sean is getting emotional. Getting upset, like, to his dad, like, you can't leave me. He's just, how it is. And then his other brother, he's just like, I mean, Sean was taking his frustration out on his brother. Was like, were you there when he was coming home drunk? And like, pretty much saying all the things that he was doing, dealing with his dad while his other son was doing whatever. But then that son was saying his frustrations also, like, because Sean was like, yeah, but you turned out okay. You know what I mean? And pretty much Sean feels like he's screwed up. And then the dad wakes up and he's like, I'm listening now. Sean was like, did you hear all that? He was like, I'm listening now. And he was just crying. He was so emotional. And it was just like, these are those scenes of vulnerability, like where you may not have told your parents everything that you felt in those moments, or their, their decision making has affected you in certain ways. So just like he was so emotional. The other brother was getting emotional. He was like, he just told his dad, he was like, I'm screwed up. He was like, I'm doing things that I don't agree with. And he was like, I need you to stick around. Like, it was just, it was tough, man. It definitely had me on the glory tier.
Glory.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
cause he was just like so frustrated, but so sad at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, man, that was a deep cut.
I feel that. I know people like, why did y'all choose this after the summertime vibes? What's wrong with you people?
Hey, we go all over the map,
We
man.
all over the map, man. Look, y'all gonna appreciate these. Get you in your emotions. Like, take a second to do cleanse your palate and acknowledge your feelings for a moment. It's all right. All right, Mig G. What you got? I hadn't seen that, so I can't elaborate on that. But well, actually, that would be Mia. You are a Big Boy Meets World fan. Do you remember this? And you got
I
anything you
do.
want to add to that?
The funny thing is, me and Ash are so locked in because my next scene is also from Boy Meets World, but
Oh,
it's
there we go. All right.
so. My next one is Boy Meets World, season 7, episode 23, Brave New World Part 2. And that is the final episode and final scene of Boy Meets World when the show completely wrapped. When I say I was making my list, and I just happened to be like sitting at my desk at work and I had my headphones in and I'm like on YouTube and I'm like, okay, I watched this scene, like the whole like 4 or 5 minute scene, and I'm sitting there like I got my tissue, I'm crying, sitting there like, oh my God. It still hits so hard. Basically, if you've watched Boy Meets World, like I have multiple times from start to all the way to the very end. Um, Mr. Feeney has taught these kids from the time they were like 12 up until they graduated high school. And even after, he came back, and when they were in college, he was still there. He taught classes at the college, and he was just always a constant. So the final scene, all of his favorite students, Corey, Sean, Topanga, Eric, they're all sitting in his high school classroom where it all began, and they all are basically the first thing that Corey says, or it's either Corey or Eric, and they say, to Mr. Feeney, tell us that you love us, and he's steadfastly saying, no, I'm not going to tell you I love you. There's a boundary between student and teacher. But then they all get up and tell him how much he means to them. Whew, it gets me. And, Topanga's crying, telling him that he's been more of a father to her than her own father. And Eric is telling him that, he doesn't know what he's going to do, but he knows he's going to be a good person who cares about people. And that's because of Mr. Feeney. And Sean is like, you never gave up on me. And Corey is like, is this really the end? Like, and they all walk out, and as soon as all the kids walk out, Mr. Feeney says, I love you all.
Oh man,
And he says,
dang.
class dismissed, and then it's over. And it's just so emotional because you've seen the journey of these students with him over the course of like years and years and years. And it's like a real goodbye, which is why I was such a fan of a show wrapping up the way it's supposed to. Like I feel like shows like that need to end with a final season, with the final episode, and not just, how they like Girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
example of a show that just stops and you don't get that closure.
Empire.
Empire, you get that closure, and that gave me some of the best television show closure that I think I've ever seen. And it was just like exactly what you needed. And that one, that's definitely top 5 for me.
That's really good. You really laid it out nicely right there. Because I always see the class dismissed part, but I hadn't seen like the part before that.
Mhm.
So that is amazing. Like, because him being such a professional to break that code to say I love you all, like he's not that type of teacher at all. So that was huge. Because I know I'm familiar with Feeney. Feeney,
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney. So familiar with Feeney. He means a lot to us viewers, of course. So yeah, that was deep. That was deep right there. Ash, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I remember that. So maybe I did watch it all the way through. I think it's just been so long since I've seen Boy Meets World, but I remember that it was a beautiful, beautiful scene.
Mm.
And he was always so buttoned up.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
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 like for
exactly.
him to finally, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked it.
All right. Number 4 for me, what I'm gonna do is, let's see, in no order, but I'm gonna go with The Sopranos season 6, episode 19, The Second Coming. Tony Soprano, he's a mobster and a father, and he's been having ups and downs. He ends up separating from his wife. They end up getting back together after a while because it's more convenient, makes more sense. Their daughter goes off to college. She's kind of the overachiever, but they have this son that's kind of the underachiever, and he just doesn't know what he wants to do. The son really goes through it a lot, even though if y'all listen to Good Earners Reviewing The Sopranos, a podcast I'm a part of, we don't shoot a lot of bail for AJ. And we didn't shoot bail for this scene. However, when I first seen this scene, AJ, so the scene is like this. AJ is at the house. He's probably 19, 20 years old. He's at the house. They live in, obviously they're in the mob. So, his father's in the mob. They live nicely. He's sitting there on the diving board in the backyard where the pool is. He has a center block and a rope tied to it. And then on the other end of the rope is his foot. And then he also has a freezer Ziploc bag just sitting on the top of his head. So he's just sitting there with like a tear in his eye. He drops the center block and he jumps in the pool, or falls in the pool rather, just purposely. And so he's trying to end it all. He doesn't quite end it all, which is kind of a trope with AJ. He's basically the can't get right of The Sopranos. You would think, oh, okay, well, why is this emotion? Well, it's Tony comes home. He's looking in the fridge trying to find something to eat, and he can hear his son like, help me. So AJ didn't tie the rope properly from his foot to the center block. So it's not that he was getting pulled under. He just couldn't quite get out. Tony comes and figures he thinks he's playing, and he pulls him out of there, and he grabs him. He's like, what is wrong with you? Because he's had it up to here with like, what is my son's problem? And there's his mom. He's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, and he's sitting there breathing. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, and then he's rubbing his son's head. He says, my baby. I'm like, and that was like a moment. He's like, my baby. And it resonated because Tony stopped being angry, and Tony has a thing for children and animals, and just how he rubs his son's head is like, my baby, it's okay. It's okay. That he get teary eyed. I'm like, that might have not even been in the script. It's that scene will get that moved me to tears because he's like one of the toughest dudes, and like he was mad at him, like you almost like, you idiot. What are you doing? And to the point, it just moved. Like he seen him as a little boy in that moment when he was trying to end it all. I was like, how did it come to this? And so just seeing him dive into the pool, full suit, mob style, and get his son out of there, and then just go from being angry to rubbing his head and say, my baby, my baby. And man, that hit, like that hits, bro. So that's Sopranos season 6, episode 19, The Second Coming. Yeah, go check out the pod, man. Good Earners Reviewing Sopranos.
Shameless plug.
Why not?
But no, I've been wanting to rewatch the Sopranos for a while now because, like I told you, Mama C, that was her joint. The Sopranos and Sex and the City. That was her thing back.
She got to listen to our pod. I'm telling you, it's gonna give a whole fresh.
I know, and I told her I got to make sure that she follows up on that.
If she does, go back and watch it.
I want to rewatch it again because I've watched Sex and the City a million times, but I never went back and rewatched The Sopranos. I want to want to go back and watch it because I remember it being so good, and
Hmm.
but I can't remember a lot of the details.
It'd be worth it too because you're a mother too. So it's like it's one of them shows when your status change, it keeps creating more layers, and that's
Mhm.
what like makes it resonate so well. It's one of the first prestige television shows. So I would absolutely advise, and it's got everything. It's got funny, action, mystery, everything. It's got everything. So you know. All right, Ash. It's back on you, number three. We're getting down to the top three. You know what I'm saying? Not in no
Top
particular
three.
list. Top three. You're
All right, so next I'm going Girlfriends. Season 2, episode 7. These are more happy tears. This was between Joan and Tony. Remember when the whole situation, I think this was after her and Sean, where she found out Tony tried to sleep with Sean, and remember she told Greg about the doctor, so all that mess, and then where Joan had got fed up with Tony and she was just like standing on business, like she didn't want to be her friend, she didn't want to be around her, talk to her, nothing. So she was literally like not messing with her. And then they go to church. So Maya, Lynn, and Joan, they're at church. No, Joan's at church by herself, and then in walks the three friends. And so they come over to sit by Joan, and Maya and them is like, I can't have, Joan was like, I can't have church to myself. And then Maya was like, this is the Lord's house. So pretty much saying anyone can come. So yeah. So then Tony's over there apologizing and like saying pretty much taking accountability, for Tony Childs to do that. It's crazy. So she's finally taking accountability that she hasn't been treating her right, and she hasn't been the best of friends, and even still with the apology, Joan is still not messing with her. And so she ends up going over to the other side of the church and sits on the other side and leaves it. And of course we have Donnie McClurkin. They're up there singing We Fall Down. Oh my goodness, that's one of my favorite gospel songs. So, everything is going, the song, and you know, Donnie is speaking a word. And then Tony walks up to the pew, we fall down. Getting into it. And then the choir just gets louder and louder. So, it's just a feeling that comes over you. And she's crying. And then Joan, she's crying, wiping snot. Like then she comes up and holds Tony's hand, and then they're both just there, like it was a powerful scene. That is one of my favorite scenes of Girlfriends. Them making amends and forgiving each other. Obviously, the message was we all fall, short, and we rise up again. And it's a beautiful scene, man. So those were happy tears for me. Like I love that scene. Like I'll go back and watch it maybe every few years just because I like how it makes me feel. Um, so yeah.
mm.
I remember that really, really well. Like as you were just, I can remember it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one." That didn't even cross my mind, but that's a really good one because yeah, that'll get you. That'll
Thank
get
you.
All right, Meg G. What say you? What you got in the three?
you. Okay, I have another one of my favorite shows that I've watched a million times. And I have Glee season 5, episode 3, titled The Quarterback. Now, the particular scene I'm talking about is with there are multiple scenes within this episode that make me cry because of the context, but the one would be with the character named Santana. So, for context, the actor who played Finn Hudson is like the main male character, like one of the main male characters in the show. Um, and the whole thing about Finn is he's the quarterback of the football team, but he's also in the glee club. Like, and he has, this long-standing relationship with the main female character in the show, Rachel. I'm pretty sure her name is Rachel. because it's been a while. But the actor, his name is Corey Monteith, and he passed away of an overdose. And so in the show, they actually killed off his character Finn as well. So they it's a later, I think it's a later season, and this is when they're all like the ones who started, they've gone to college, but Finn passes away, so they all come back home to Lima, Ohio, to the high school, and they're doing a lot of tributes to Finn. And it's a musical show, so they're doing a lot of singing, and there's doing tribute to his character. And Santana is like the tough character. She's a tough girl, and she doesn't, she's mean. She doesn't cry for real. She's just a real tough character, and her and Finn had a real rocky relationship throughout the show. But there's the scene where she gets up to sing a song in tribute to Finn, and she just breaks down and she can't sing the song and she just runs out. And that was a real tearjerker for me. This whole episode though, because if you've watched Glee like I have a million times, his character was like, he was like the gentle giant, a big teddy bear who was, the protector and the big brother, the lover boy. He was his mom was a single mom, and they had, he kind of like saved a lot of characters from different situations and was like a light. And so after what happened to the actor, it was just really heartbreaking to see the actors in the show having to tribute not only the character but their friend who passed away, and you could just feel those feelings.
That is always one of the weirdest things that, again, just like most things, it's just hard to cope with. You don't know how to take that. Like when an actor goes before and they had to write it, and it's something. Wow. If anybody watched Glee, it's definitely you. That's what I thought. I'm sorry. That was my first. I was like, oh, that lines up. That tracks perfectly.
It's a good show, not just for the theater girl in my heart who loves the show tunes and musical theater. It's just generally funny, and it's like a good feel good, and it touches on a lot of really important subjects too. So,
Are they singing the whole like a lot? It's like a
High School
musical.
Musical type vibes.
so it's not kid friendly necessarily. It's more adult themes set with high school students, but it's still like a network, like a comedy, like a dramedy. But it is musical. It is a musical. So it's set around like the Glee Club, but they sing like not only show tunes, but like popular music that is from the time, just
Like
in
Hamilton.
what what's going on. It's hard to explain because they sing, it's like a bunch of covers. Like they sing songs from plays like Broadway and theater, but then they also sing like pop and R&B and like all types of stuff just within the context of whatever is going on.
Yeah, you were like our brother. He's into that. He was definitely into that in school. So yeah, he's
They having a conversation and then just in mid combo start singing.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I can't do
But
any.
it's
I can't
not
do any
like
musicals.
it's not like
Is
just
it
watch,
like is it like High School Musical?
watch no, because it's not cheesy.
I'll watch one episode.
No, I ain't gonna watch the episode. Send us a good scene.
Okay.
That I can't even give you. I can't even commit. Like give me a good scene.
Fine,
All
Mo.
right. I'm just saying I trust your recommendation, but when it comes to musical, this is like a comedy, drama, and musical. It's a dramical. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on. So, but I'm open to let's see. So let's do it. All right. For me, this is a little bit later. I'm gonna get this on out the way because the last two are definitely would be probably in the two. So I'm going Walking Dead season 9, late in the game, episode 15, The Calm Before. At this point, the enemies, because every season there's a protagonist or antagonist, whichever one it is. Which one is it?
Antagonist.
Anti. Okay. So antagonist. The antagonist at this point is the Whisperers. The Whisperers are people dressed up like walkers. They actually take the walker's skin, cut it up, and put it on their faces, and they're walking around like the walk. They're so powerful they can move herds because they're that smart. Like that's why I say you probably should keep watching because there is still some moments that are good. Like
I might go back and watch from a certain point.
Yeah. I mean, it might be cool now. There's no expectations, so it's like I ain't got nothing else to watch. It might be that's how I finished it because I was like, all right, I know Walking Dead has fell from grace, so I at that point I was like, I'm just watching it, and it has some moments, but so Sadiq rather is telling this story. They got caught up by the Whispers. There was a few of the people missing. They're having this little festival with our main characters and everybody's there, but there's people that are missing at this festival, and everybody's like, have you seen such and such? Have you seen so and so? And everybody's like, oh, they should be here. Last time I talked to them, it was this and that, blah blah blah, yada yada. So after a while, Sadiq comes and he has this like almost bandage wrap around his head, and everybody's looking at him like, what's going on? And he ends up telling them what happened. And what happened is the Whispers end up capturing some of our main characters, and they had them locked in a barn with their hands tied, and then some people went to go save them. He's telling the story about how they fought for each other. Some of them didn't know each other as much as others because they're from different places in the Walking Dead world, but they're all working together for the good. And he's telling the story, but he's getting emotional telling the story of like how they were fighting for each other, and they they got hands tied behind their back, they dropping shoulders, whatever. They're fighting against the the Whisperers. And he tells that story, but there's this part like it didn't end well. All of them died, like all of them died. But the worst part was like as they were showing people at the festival. And they were saying, like, have you seen such and such? They kind of played it again. And then you see their head on the spike.
Oh, dang.
So then you see, like, it's like, boom. And you see them, like, as Walker style. So, like, and so you're seeing all of them. And it's getting more closer to, like, main characters at that point. So then you see Tara. I'm like, Tara? And you probably remember Tara. She was like, I think she was like one of the lesbian women in the show. So Tara. And then you see Enid. He's looking for this dude that was looking for his girl, and it's Enid. Her head was on the spike. And then there's this last scene, and this is what broke me up. Daryl and Carol, they're going and they're looking at the people, and she was like, where's Henry? And he sees it before she does. He's like, don't look. He's turning her away, and then they show us Henry. I'm like, not freaking Henry, bro. He's innocent. Like, not that anybody innocent, but it's like, he's a kid. He just now came into his own. He just now started making friends in this Walking Dead world, and his head was on the spike. That was the last one that showed. That broke me up more than like the episode you was talking about. I said, oh no,
I didn't make it that far, but I know all those characters, and that's crazy.
It hurt. I ain't gonna even lie. I didn't think they had it in them because at that point,
Tara, they were such cute little girls.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
And that hurt. And that Carol and Daryl scene, she's like, oh no. I was like, oh. So yeah, Walking Dead, season 9, episode 15, The Calm Before. Because this is where they start making a plan. They about to, hey, we about to get y'all. So yeah, I mean, not to mention they killed the character named Jesus. Like, they got him out of. That's when we got the big reveal.
I love Jesus.
I know, but they got him out of there so smooth. But yeah, so that's number 3 right there. Ash Bash, you on mute?
Mute, girlfriend.
Yes. Okay. So of course my last two you already mentioned in your honorable mentions.
I'm sorry, number 2. My bad. Yeah.
So I'll go Degrassi with Jimmy getting shots. That was definitely one of those ones. The boy, now known as Drake, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna even get into that. But when he was Jimmy on this show, he was one of our favorites. You know, it was
Yeah,
only
he
a
was.
few black characters in the show. And
For
it
sure.
just, thought he was cool. Like,
Yeah, we love Jimmy.
very tall, that's just my guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the part that gets me, so of course I'm invested in the character. And then just the behind the scenes of the setup, it just it was it was painful to see, but also it was anger there. Like, Rick in the bathroom. They look down, they see his feet, Spinner and Jay, and Jay's pretty much, tossing it over to Jimmy. Rick hears it, go to the backpack. I mean, you already know what time it is, but yeah, it was very emotional. Like, it wasn't even the actual shot where he's like, oh, and he falls. So
Which
of
was
course we
still
know,
there, but yeah.
yeah, like we know what comes with that. But like, and then Craig's in the hall and he sees them.
Oh man,
it's just like
he's like,
as all these people,
Jimmy, bro.
yeah, man. Because you're not, like you said, you're not going to school thinking your friend's about to get shot, bro. Or like, and not even that they're going to get shot, but that you're even going to see them.
Yeah.
Like, he literally walked around the corner, not even,
bro,
but 5 minutes after. Like, I can imagine the traumatic experience of that. But like, yeah, that definitely had me bawling back then. When I watched it this time, I didn't get all the way there, but it was building up. But yeah, man, definitely had to add that to the top 5. Jimmy getting shot on Degrassi episode 4. I mean, season 4, 7, and 8. It was like a 2-parter, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. It got me more emotional in this era just because it's like when you have kids, so you think about sending your kid to school. That part that kind of flipped on me, like different from when we were kids watching it. Is so. But yeah, wow, yeah, great point. There is, and then we didn't even get into the Sean and Emma part of it all.
Man, when he grabbed, even that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the jokes you use, goodness.
Yeah, even the picture you use.
It's crazy.
And it's just like, Emma, get behind me, like, bro.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about the post-traumatic of it all. Like, and I shot, bro. I was like, dang, these are kids. Like, we watching this like they're adults. These are kids, bro. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I ain't gonna prologue it, but like, yeah, that's excellent television. They really taught us how to cope and deal with things.
Yeah.
Nia G, number 2.
Okay, so this one may come as a surprise. But I have Sex in the City, season 4, episode 8, My Motherboard Myself. And in this episode, there's a scene towards the end, including Samantha. So in this episode, Miranda's mother passes away. So the whole episode is centered around Miranda's and her mom's death. So she's from Philadelphia. She goes to Philadelphia because her mom had a heart attack. And she calls Carrie, lets her know, my mom had a heart attack. And then the next day she calls and she says, my mom died. And so, of course, Carrie's sad. Everybody is really sad about it. Like Carrie, Charlotte, they're both, crying because they feel so bad for Miranda. And then there's Samantha, and she's just like, oh, I don't really, she just doesn't deal with grief well. Like, she doesn't know what to say. She doesn't like let herself feel emotional about it. And okay, for my rated R, my TVMA little portion, viewer discretion is advised. So a part of the episode is after she finds out that Miranda's mom passes away, Samantha can't have an orgasm anymore. And her whole thing, she always can.
Yeah, that's her superpower.
She can do it every time, but she's not able to. And so, she finds the whole episode trying to find it. But once we get to the funeral, they all go up for Miranda's mom's funeral, and everybody is telling Miranda how sorry they are, and she's just like, "Oh, you look great." And they're like, "Samantha, please." But they go into the church and they see, Miranda sitting there pretty much by herself because her siblings are married, and she's single. And it just hits Samantha in that moment how much, she hurts for Miranda. And Miranda looks back at Samantha, and Samantha just silently mouths, "I'm sorry." And she just breaks down crying. And it's just such a heartfelt moment for her character and between those two characters because, you see Miranda's really hurting, and you see Samantha finally being able to let that wall down and feel for her friend, and she just boo-hoos the rest of the episode. And, you know, and then she finds her orgasm. Yay.
So Miranda breaking broke you.
It
I mean,
was
not Miranda, but Samantha breaking.
because another character who, you rarely get to see her emotional. So seeing her emotional makes you emotional because it's like, oh, she really feels that because, it took her all this time to really even acknowledge those feelings.
Mm. Dang, I don't even remember that because I'm definitely past season 4.
I rewatched that whole episode just to get, but yeah, there were a
Did
lot.
it take you there again?
Hmm?
Did it take you there again?
It did. It did. It was that scene and a scene before that where right after Miranda's mom passed away, she was in the dressing room trying to find a bra, and the sales lady came in and she was trying to help her, and she kind of snapped on the lady because she was acting like her mother. And she realized in that moment she'd never have another argument with her mom. And she told the lady, like, it's not you, my mom just died. And the lady ended up, giving her a hug. And it was just it was an emotional episode, probably the most emotional episode.
Dang, I can't believe I missed this.
The saddest Sex and the City episode,
I don't know. Maybe I was like halfway watching that one because it's like, bro, I'm definitely past season 4. But okay. Number 2, I'm going Degrassi as well. Now, I picked this one instead of the one that Ash had in her 5-time stand still with, obviously the school shooting. This one is Degrassi season 3, episode 8, Whisper to Scream. This is the episode where we find out about Ellie was cutting herself. This was so new to us. I've never known this to be a thing. I was never familiar with this as a teenager. Like, this was such a new concept. I didn't understand, but the thing about Degrassi that they do so well is context is king, and they do it excellent. Like, they do not speed past anything. But what gets me teary-eyed with this is like Ellie's cutting herself, and of course she's crying when she's doing it because she's carrying on so much pressure because her dad is in the military. Her mother's a drunk. Her mother almost burned the whole house down being drunk, and eventually Ellie, she's trying to get this interview, to work for Caitlin Ryan. Shout out to Caitlin Ryan. I'm watching the OG Degrassi right now. So she's trying to do all these things, but she's carrying such weight, and her dad is telling her, "Oh, it's gonna be all right," but he's not around. But the scene that gets me, she's in a bathroom. She gets her knife out. She rolls the sleeve up, and she's about to cut. She did cut, and Paige pulls up, and Paige immediately starts crying. Like, Paige is like, "Ellie, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing?" And she's like, "Leave me alone, Paige." She's like, "No, you're cutting yourself." Like, and Ellie's looking at Paige like, "Bro, you popular. Like, why would you care? Like, what do you mean? Why did you care?" And she was like, and it's just the way Paige carried it was like that's where you realize Paige is a real person. It's just how when she's seen it, how emotional she got of just seeing somebody going. She didn't even have to know the whole story. She's a pariah, whatever. Like she didn't care about none of that. Just seeing her do that and seeing those that dripping blood in that girl's bathroom sink and how quickly Paige just got to tears, bro. That get me so emotional right away. I was like, oh my God. Cause like you don't need to know like how'd you get here. You just like, bro, are you okay? Like this is so sad to me.
It's human
This
decency.
yeah, it's and I love human decency. Like just seeing somebody like, yo, forget everything else is going on. And so yeah, this episode, I felt for Ellie, just that weight she carried, man. It was a lot. Like, gosh, Degrassi did a great. I'm telling y'all, if y'all ain't my two co-hosts, I'm telling you, if y'all ain't watching a while, man, just start from season 1, get it back in the mix. I'm telling you, it's so good now that we're this age. Like, so man, but yeah, that was season 3, episode 8, Whisper to Scream.
Whisper to Scream.
Put that in the chat. I want to see that one. If they got it on YouTube, put that one in the chat.
That it is on. Well, I know it's on HBO Max, but yeah, you may find it. You got Fire Stick, so you can find it.
Well, yeah, I meant because me and Mia put a couple, put a little clips in there for us to check out. But so if you happen to see it,
yeah, I'm gonna throw the episode in the chat just so you can look it up. But yeah, that page, like, Ellie, what are you doing? Like, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man, Degrassi did do a hell of a job. I mean, it was teenagers going through some real life stuff, like,
bro, being gay, coming like that whole
gay, Marco.
That whole Marco thing was like, that was like education 101 for me. Like I was like, I did not know, and we, our brother and everything. So it was like everything's full circle. So it's like, wow, you know what I mean? But
it used to be a soap opera. That was our stories.
When yes,
we was watching our stories.
Oh, we was watching our stories. Hey, that's an old term right there. We was watching our stories. That's good. All right, Ash, let's land this plane. Your number 1, what you got?
All right, so number 1 is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, season 4, episode 24. Obviously, why he don't want me, man? Will Smith did an incredible job in this scene, and his name Avery.
John Avery.
John Avery, rest in peace. Beautiful, beautiful scene. And you had touched on this, Mo, earlier in your honorable mention. It wasn't even just that line, like, how come he don't want me? He was already feeling that pain and those emotions before he got to that part. So it was just an overload and a buildup. And I do believe, didn't he come back in and he was like, saying all these things he wanted to do with Will, and like they were going to hang out, and then he just ended up having to go out of town, didn't he? He's like, oh man, I'll catch you next time or something. You know what I mean? He just pretty much.
James Avery.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure we got it right. Yep.
I'm like,
feel for real.
Rest in peace. But right, wasn't he? Didn't he come back in? And he was acting, he wanted to hang out with Will and said they were going to do all these things. Then he ended up having to dip out, go out of town, wherever he was going. And so yeah, just that build up, because it was even more than just the abandonment. It just felt like it was just a kid being let down, as grown as he was, right? It doesn't matter. Like, you can get so small with your parents because you love them so much, and you just want to be accepted and wanted, and you want to be able to spend quality time with them, and so even though he was a grown man, he was a little boy in that moment. It was all that waiting and that hope and just being let down. It just caught the heartbreak of a child and him trying to understand why it felt like his parent didn't love him. You know what I mean? That's a confusion state of mind to be in. Like, what is it? You're blaming yourself. Like, what is it? Like, why he don't want to spend time with me? Like, what? Or even make the time, even if you don't have the time, make the time. But yeah, it's a powerful scene. This definitely still got me there. And you guys know I cry for happy things. So you can imagine more challenging scenes in movies that are like, more pulling on my heartstrings because I cry for happy scenes. Like, oh,
Same.
like
I had that happen for the first time like last year. Then it has never happened. Like a cry for joy, never happened. It was me and my wife, we were watching Unstoppable, and that's when the first time it ever happened. I was like, "Well, what is happening right now?" So, but anyway,
it's an internal feeling. It's like you're just happy for that person on screen, and it's like shout out to the actors because that means they're doing their job well to even get you to that space. It's just even like Pursuit of Happiness, like where he got the job. He did the internship, didn't have any money, wasn't making no bread, needed every dollar he could get. And he finally got through the internship. And then, well, we hope you have a shirt for the next day or something. Just, would you like that? It was just the triumphant, you know what I mean? It just got me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's my final scene, man. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
It's a great number one. It's a great number one. Me, G.
Same. I have the same.
Oh, modern.
Everything there is to be said has been said about this scene. It just stands out as, one of them ones classic. You can scroll any social media and find a clip of this scene. I think a lot of this whole episode was really just a heavy hitter, like with Uncle Phil telling Will's dad, whose name I can't remember, basically like because he tried to leave and tried to get Uncle Phil to tell Will that he had to go, and he's like, no, you have to tell him yourself. Like, you have to look your child in the eye and tell him that you're letting him down again. And from that to seeing Will just kind of shrug it off when his dad is telling him he has to leave, and he's like, you know what, it's fine, but then to see him break down after the fact with the man who really stepped up to raise him and be his father, and you see how no matter what now I am not the person to speak to this because I have my father right next door. But you can't replace that. And Uncle Phil did a great job, but it still hurt Will that his father didn't want to be involved with him the way that a father should. He missed so much. And he had a strong figure like Uncle Phil to be there to pick up the pieces, but it still didn't replace that longing for his father. It's an emotional one. It's a classic. I think that hit everybody.
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, it spawned a whole reboot, a reimagining. You know what I mean? And even then, shout out to Will because he kept messing up his lines, and James Avery had told him like lean into me, take your frustration out with me. And so obviously, like, that's why I feel like he was definitely turned up on. Yeah, I did that on my own, didn't I, Uncle Phil? And then so I had 16 birthdays without all that. So yeah, but yeah, excellent. My last one, number one, is from Dexter, season 4, episode 12's finale, The Getaway.
Okay.
Dexter, this lives rent free in my head, and I still haven't recovered. And anybody that if you know, this is one of them type of situations. Dexter is a serial killer, but he's a serial killer and he kills serial killers. It's crazy.
The bad guy.
He's a bad guy, but he kills the bad guys. Only bad guys. He has a code. So that's what the intrigue of the show. It's not just, he just murdering people. Why would we watch it? That's the intrigue of the show. He gets to know this older gentleman, and this older gentleman, he finds out he was going to kill, but then he gets to know him a little bit. He's known as the Trinity Killer. And so every so many years, he kills people in threes. Dexter sees him, and he sees he got a family and everything, and Dexter strives to be like him. He's trying to figure out, how do I do this? Because I have these urges to kill, but I got to live by this code. But he sees this man. He said, maybe there is life for me, the Trinity Killer. But then, Dexter tracks people down. So he sees the Trinity Killer just, kind of, I don't remember exactly. It's a little murky on who he killed and what the purpose was. But somehow I put Dexter back on track. Well, it was how he was with his family. It wasn't all sweet. He was a little bit controlling. His wife was a little jumpy. The son was definitely off kilter. The daughter was out there. He started to realize, because he ate a dinner when he realized it was off. So he put that back on his map, his mission. Like, I'm going to get the Trinity Killer on my table, and that's Dexter. He gets on the table, saran wrap him, and he gonna stab you. Like, that's how he gets you up out of here. Mm-hmm. He finally, through a whole season, finally gets the Trinity Killer. Got him on his table. The Trinity Killer's doing the smart ass banter like the villains do. And so Dexter finally gets him, and he's like, finally got him. Cleans up, wrap up the scene like they do. He gets home. This man gets home. He's looking around, and he think it's all good. His lights are turned off in the house. Man, he gets to the bathroom, and Rita, his wife, is in the tub, and the tub is filled with blood. The Trinity Killer had already got to his wife, and his son was sitting there in blood. And this is a callback to Dexter, why he has these urges, because he was a little boy when his mom got murdered. He always said, I was born in blood. And so now his son goes through the same cycle, and they play that out even later in some of the sequels. But like but Rita Morgan, she was so innocent.
I love Rita.
And I still haven't recovered from that scene, seeing her in that tub and the water being red. And he grabbed the baby like, baby's crying, and he see her. I have not recovered from that to this day, bruh. And I like the fact that he thought you got him. No, he got you. And again, Dexter don't feel like he has a void feeling. He don't feel things, but he knew something was, that wasn't. So man, that to this day, if you're a Dexter fan, shout out to, they got, new series out. I've already watched the original series. Now they got the sequel out, Resurrection. So, but yeah, that Rita Morgan, my goodness. Yeah, so that's my number one. That lives rent free to this day. I still think about Rita. I ain't even seen the actress in anything else. That's what makes it worse. Like, you like, dang, you like really fell off she probably been in some stuff, but I ain't seen it like in my radar. So it's like, dang, that was really like the precipice. So with that being said, Mia G, Ash Bash, wonderful picks, wonderful conversation. Had a great time on this Friday. I hope y'all Friday is dope. Y'all, by the time y'all hearing this, y'all had a dope Friday. Y'all got to tap in with us and kick it with us. Hopefully this episode is all that and a bag of chips. But we can't leave y'all. We can't leave y'all without giving y'all the reveal of our next rotation and also our next film. And while y'all checking this out, if y'all got this far, y'all should have already stopped, pause, go check out the scenes we're talking about, and then listen to the rest. That would be my instruction. I should have said at the beginning. But with that being said, our next rotation of films, we decided to go with superhero movies. Yeah, me got the guns out, funds out. So we decided to go with hero movies. And with that being said, we switched the rotation around. And so I know I had the last movie. Now I have the first movie. And with that being said, my movie pick is a film that has a lot of conversational pieces, a lot of angles. It still applies today. People still use these phrases. And there's definitely some scenes and things that we used to talk about a ton when we were kids. It's the 1999 film, The Matrix.
Oh.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've thought about it. There's two black superhero films that come to mind that I thought about going with, but I was like, I want to go even further on the twist. And a lot of people say, well, The Matrix is not a hero film, but it is, though, when you really look at the context of what it is for humanity and him being the one. We'll get more into that, obviously, in next week's episode, but I absolutely wanted to talk about this film. I've been waiting, and this was a perfect time to cash that check. So we'll be talking about the 1999 film starring Keanu Reeves, The Matrix. Mia G, Ash, What y'all feeling about that before we, get out of here?
I love The Matrix. I love that movie. I love 1 and 2. Now, we get a little sketchy when we start to get into some of the other stuff, but I love The Matrix. It's one of my favorite movies.
Ash.
Definitely a household staple. Trying to do the moves
Of
and
course. Yeah.
the video game. I mean,
Oh, the game, the video game. Dang, with
game with
Jada.
Jada in that mug, bro.
Oh man, that game was so hard.
I would buy that game today for real, but yeah, I'm excited. Wasn't expecting it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I knew when I picked this movie, it's gonna really make y'all really like, okay, where am I gonna go now? Because there's a lot of hero films. You just gotta look further down, like than our typical, obviously MCU, DCEU, or whatever. Like, it's deep, and so I was like, oh, I gotta go here. So, I think there's gonna be some great conversational pieces. I think that we can really have. So that is our film next week. For a lot of y'all have seen it, so if you don't watch it again, whatever. But I would advise watch the film again, just so you could be tapped into where the Childish Grown Up Show will take it. Because we're going to have a great time. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have Flash with Ash. We're going to have Mia giving us some backstories and all that great stuff. So, y'all, we here. We did it. TGIF. Y'all hopefully have a dope weekend by the time y'all hearing this. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Reach out to us, The Childish Grown Up Show on Instagram, no spaces, or childishgrownups3@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on YouTube. Either way, we'll read it on air and we will respond. We are very connected to the Stoop Kids, and that makes you a Stoop Kid if you reach out to us. So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Peace out.